Sturgoy Court, and she and Lissa are planning something illegal, because that's what Rose likes to do. And so they are going to their friend Mia for help on how to make this happen. Let's see. Mia Rinaldi was a former Moroi classmate of ours, a former enemy actually. She was also the poster child for total personality makeovers. She'd gone from a scheming girl who was willing to crush anyone in her quest for popularity to a down-to-earth, confident person eager to learn to defend herself and others from Sturgoy. She lived here at court with her father. You think Mia knows how to break into a prison, I asked? Or sorry, Lissa asked that. Mia's good, I said, but I don't think she's that good. She can probably help us get intel, though. Lissa groaned. I can't believe you just used the word intel. This really is turning into a spy movie. She spoke flippantly, but I could hear the worry within her. The light tone was masking her fear, the unease she still felt about the promise she'd made to me. The non-royals who worked and did ordinary things at court lived in apartments far from the Queen's quarters and receiving hall. I'd gotten Mia's address in advance, and we set out across the perfectly manicured grounds, grumbling to each other along the way about the hot day. We found her at home, casually dressed in jeans and a t-shirt, with a popsicle in her hand. Her eyes widened when she saw us outside her door. Well, I'll be damned, she said. I laughed. It was the kind of response I'd give, too. Nice to see you, I said. Can we come in? Of course. She stepped aside. You want a popsicle? Did I ever? And I'm going to stop and tell you a popsicle story here for a moment. If you read this series, Rose, you'll notice that Rose eats a lot, and it's because she's an athlete, and that's what they do, not me. I could never consume as many calories as she does and stay as fit. But she's always wanting sugar because she's always punching someone. And so anyways, when Mia is here eating a popsicle and she says, Rose, do you want a popsicle? Of course Rose wants a popsicle because she probably hasn't had sugar for like a half hour and needs a charge. And while I was writing this, my editor scrawled on the pages, why does Rose need a popsicle so bad? Question mark, question mark. And I didn't know how to explain it. I'm just like, she needs a popsicle. So 2 paragraphs before this, there's a little line here where Lissa and Rose are complaining to each other because it's so hot out. And that was added in the very last round on this book because I had to have a viable explanation for why Rose would want a popsicle to make my editor happy. So each time I read that line, it's a surprise because I'm like, oh yeah, we added the hot weather line like at the last minute. So there you go. That's what it's like writing a book. I took a grape popsicle and sat with her and Lissa in the small living room. The place was a far cry from the opulence of royal guest housing, but it was cozy and clean, and undoubtedly well loved. I knew the grads were coming, Mia said, brushing blonde curls out of her face, but I wasn't sure if you were with them or not. Did you even graduate? I did, I said. Got the promise mark and everything. I lifted my hair so she could see the bandage. I'm surprised they let you back in after you took off on your killing spree, she said. Or did you get extra credit for that? Apparently, Mia had heard the same tall tale about my adventures that everyone else had. That was fine with me. I didn't want to talk about the truth. I didn't want to talk about Russia. Do you think anyone could stop Rose from doing what she wants? Asked Lissa with a smile. She was trying to keep us from getting into too much detail about my past, for which I was grateful. Mia laughed and crunched on a big chunk of lime ice. It was a wonder she didn't get brain freeze. True. Her smile faded as she swallowed the bite. Her blue eyes, always shrewd, studied me in silence. And Rose wants something now. Hey, I said, we're just happy to see you. I believe you, she said, but I also believe you've got an ulterior motive. Lissa's smile grew. She was amused at me being caught in my spy game. What makes you say that? Can you read Rose that well? Or do you just always assume she's got an ulterior motive? Now Mia smiled. Both. She scooted forward on the couch and fixed me with a serious look. Okay, no point in wasting time. What do you need my help with? I sighed. I need to get inside the Guardian's main security office. Beside me, Lissa made sort of a strangled noise. I felt bad for her. While she could conceal her thoughts from me on occasion, there wasn't much she did or said that really came as a surprise. But me, I continually blindsided her. She had no clue what was coming half the time, but honestly, if we were planning on busting into a prison, then breaking into a security office shouldn't have been that big of a shock to her at this point. Wow, said Mia, you don't waste your time with the little stuff. Her grin twitched a bit. Of course, she wouldn't come to me with the little stuff. You could do that yourself. Can you get us, in there, I asked? You're friendly with some of the Guardians here, and your dad has access to a lot of places. What are you looking for, she asked. She held up a hand when I opened my mouth to protest. No, I don't need details, she said. Just a general idea so I can figure this out. I know you're not going in there to tour the place. I need some records, I explained. Her eyebrows rose. Personnel? Trying to get yourself a job? No. It actually wasn't a bad idea considering my precarious position right now. But no, one issue at a time. I need some records, I told her, about outside security at other places. Schools, royal homes, prisons. I tried to keep my expression casual as I mentioned that last one. Mia was on board with some crazy things, but even she had her limits. I figured they must keep that stuff there. They do, she said, but most of it's electronic, and no offense, but that might even be beyond your abilities. Even if we could get one of their computers, everything's password protected. I'm guessing you haven't become a hacker since the last time I saw you. No, certainly not. And unlike the heroes of the spy movies Lissa teased me about, I had no tech-savvy friends who could even come close to breaking the kind of encryption and security the Guardians would have. I stared glumly at my feet, wondering if I had any chance at all of getting more information from Abe. But, said Mia, if the information you need isn't too current, they might still have paper copies. I jerked my head up. Where? Well, they've got mass storage rooms tucked away in the basements, files and files, still under lock and key, but probably easier to break into than the computers. Again, depends on what you need, how old it is. Abe had given me the impression that Tarasov prison had been around for a while. Surely there was a record of it in these archives. I didn't doubt the Guardians had gone digital a while ago, which meant we might not find up to the minute details of the place's security, but I'd settle for a blueprint. It might be what we need, I told her. Can you get us in? Mia was quiet for several seconds, and I could see her mind worrying. Possibly. She glanced at Lissa. Can you still compel people into being your slaves? Lissa grimaced. I don't like to think of it like that, but yeah, I can. Mia considered, then gave a quick nod. Okay, come back around 2 and we'll see what we can do. I was trying to decide if we should socialize more or head out when a knock interrupted my thoughts. Mia flinched and suddenly looked uncomfortable. She rose to get the door, and a familiar voice drifted down the hall toward us. Sorry I'm early, but Christian stepped into the living room. He abruptly shut up when he saw Lissa and me. Everyone seemed frozen, so looked like it was up to me to pretend like this wasn't a horribly awkward situation. Hey Christian, I said cheerfully. How's it going? His eyes were on Lissa, and it took him a moment to drag them to me. Fine. He glanced at Mia. I can come back. Lissa hastily stood up. No, she said, voice cool and princess-like. Rose and I have to go anyway. Yeah, I agreed, following her lead. We have stuff to do, and we don't want to interrupt your stuff. Hell, I had no idea what they were going to do. Wasn't sure I wanted to. Mia had found her voice. Christian wanted to see some of the things I've been practicing with the Campus Guardians. Cool, I said. I kept a smile on my face as Lissa and I moved toward the door. She stepped as far around Christian as she could. Jill will be jealous, I added. And not just Jill, apparently. After another round of goodbyes, Lissa and I left and set back off across the grounds. I could feel the anger and jealousy radiating through the bond. It's only their fight club list, I said, having no need for her side of the conversation. Nothing's going on. They're going to talk punches and kicking and other boring stuff. Well, actually, that stuff was pretty sweet, but I wasn't about to glorify Christian and Mia hanging out. Maybe now nothing's going on, Lissa growled. But who knows what could happen? They spend time together, practice some physical moves, one thing leads to another. That's ridiculous, I said. That kind of stuff isn't romantic at all. Another lie, seeing as that was exactly how my relationship with Dmitri had begun. Again, that's not to mention that. Besides, I said, Christian can't be involved with every girl he hangs out with. Mia, Jill, no offense, Lissa, but he's not really that much of a ladies' man. He's really good looking, she argued. Yeah, I conceded, keeping my eyes on the pathway ahead. But it takes more than that. And besides, I thought you didn't care what he did. I don't, she agreed. Not even convincing herself, let alone me. Not at all. All right, thank you.